So Walker Stalker Cruise, put your hands together for the man who plays Jesus. Give it up for Mr. Tom Payne! Hello. I need to keep on down. Go on, son. Hey! How are you, sir? Very well. This is surreal. But awesome. Is this your first cruise ever?
This is my first cruise ever. What a way to start.
What's been your favorite part of being on this boat so far?
Being with all you lovely, lovely people, enjoying the amazing phenomenon that is The Walking Dead, as it continues to go along like a freight train.
Absolutely. A beautiful, decaying freight train.
Yeah, this is another thing that I have to deal with my long hair though right now. I've not dealt with eating my hair every 5 seconds.
No? It's kind of dramatic though. I don't think the ladies mind. Ladies, do you mind that hair? So let's talk Jesus.
Sure.
Again, like I said in the intro, beloved character in the books, and you've just done fantastic things with him.
Thank you.
What kind of research did you do going into this role?
As much as I could. I got cast really quickly. Like within a week of sending my tape in, I was on set in Atlanta. So I didn't really have time to read the comic books or anything. I didn't even know what my part was until I got the part. Like there's like a fake name that they gave the guy and fake sides. And so it was only when they said, oh, we'd like you to come and work with us, that my agent was then like, oh, we think it's this guy. And it was only once I got to America that I was like, oh, it's this dude from the comic books, maybe I should check that out. And I did, but then, you know, there's so many comic books to read, and so when I first started, I was just reading the scripts and just making sure I was doing what was on the page, and with help from Scott Gimple, the showrunner and the director of that episode, that first one, did the best that I could. And since I then did it, I've read all the comic books and watched all the episodes, but it's like 7 years of the show now. Like, that's a lot to catch up on. And it's not really a binge watch show, I don't feel like. I couldn't just watch them one after another. I couldn't do it. I was like, I need a rest after that. But I finally got through them all.
And you know, first time I interviewed you, I think you just premiered. We were in Nashville. We talked in Atlanta, but since then, you know, 7A has been an interesting first half of the season, right, folks?
It's pretty tough.
What have you done with the character now? So now are you starting to play around with, because I mean, the scenes with Gregory, I think were fantastic.
Oh yeah.
So what have you done now? Are you injecting more of your own personality into Jesus?
I think I enjoy Jesus' like calming presence on the show and on the hilltop and just in general with the group. I know that I think some people have been a bit like, what is this dude? And like he's not as like as everyone else all the time. And I'm like, well, that's kind of the point. Like he doesn't. You know, I feel like everyone in the world as it is right now has approached it in a different way and has been bruised and battered in different ways. And he's just gone with a different direction. I think what was interesting when he met Daryl and Rick, like, he didn't, you know, he could have just killed them and gone off with the truck. He could have, you know, and who's to say that Daryl and Rick wouldn't have done that? Because I feel like in a lot of instances, Daryl and Rick have become quite hardened and you know, there's a dictatorship and all that kind of stuff, and have been like gone into situations really amped up. And Jesus is a bit more, stands back a little bit more and assesses the situation before he decides how he's going to be with people. But I just enjoy, I think, you know, when we come back, you'll see that he takes everyone to the kingdom, and he does what he did in the last season, which was he takes them into a new place, and is slowly becoming part of the group, and I think has the potential to be a really good addition in the energy that he brings and the way that he considers things. And I think he could be a really good source of advice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think give it up for Tom. Great answer. I think the assessing the situation, I think, is something the group needs. I mean, I think back to when he met Rick and Daryl with the bullets. He said, I don't know if you guys have ammo. And they actually,
oh yeah,
right?
Yeah, the thing is, because he knew that they wouldn't shoot him either, you know. And he's not. That was kind of funny because a lot of people from that first episode were like, we didn't know if I liked you, and like we weren't sure about you. I was like, he's called Jesus for a reason. Like he's nice. Like, what's your opinion of the biblical Jesus? You know. Like, so he's not called Satan. So it was just nice that was kind of the first time that someone had just looked at Rick and Daryl and gone, "Come on, guys, what?" But you know, that was kind of an interesting situation. For me as an actor coming in and kind of making the two lead guys look a bit silly was kind of tough as well. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna like take to this or if they're gonna get this. But no, it was a very fun way to come in and just be a different energy, like I said before.
Speaking of energy, you must have exerted quite a bit of energy, because we've all seen in that episode the chase around the truck with Daryl, people with Benny Hill music to it and whatnot. Yeah. So let's talk the physical demands of the role, because they're obviously huge. So how did you get prepared for that, and what were days like that, like in that hot sun with the knit cap?
Well, that was, I mean, I didn't really have enough time to prepare like physically for that, so that was exhausting, and I always died. I ran around that field. We did it like 5 or 6 times. And I think me and Norman were both ready to collapse at the end of that, and I actually did. Like the last time we did it, I just collapsed on my back on the floor, just like heavily breathing. But then coming back this season, obviously I know the character has all the martial arts and all that kind of stuff, so I made sure that I went and trained. I trained for about 3 months before I came back last season, and I had a really enjoyable time. Actually, I used to be a gymnast when I was younger, and it's nice to find out that I can still do it. But I'm also just an actor who wants to be on screen, so I wanted to make sure that my stunt double didn't get on screen. I was like, okay, I'm going to make sure that I can do this, and I want to kick that guy in the face, and it worked out. And I hope that, I hope it looks good. I mean, I've really worked hard at it. Sometimes we film quite quickly, and sometimes it's tough to really choreograph stuff so that it, works in a scene, because there are things that come up and you're like, oh, we can't shoot it like that because of this, so you have to substitute stuff, and which kind of it can be frustrating. But I feel like we got some good stuff in there, and there's more stuff to come.
You see it online, like the spinning, the ninja kicks.
Well, that's the thing. I made sure I was like, look, I did all this really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Which isn't like on the screen right now, but like I made sure me and my trainer, like we shot some really cool kicks and punches and stuff. And I was like, if that doesn't end up in the show, I'm definitely gonna put it on Instagram.
Well, this stage is pretty sturdy. Do you wanna give it down? I'll take the kick.
Not right now. No.
Maybe tonight.
Because everyone's filming, and that will end up being everywhere. It's just like the worst thing ever. At least with that, I have some kind of control on this.
I'll sell it. It'll be good. I think the audience has some questions for you. You want to take some audience questions? All right. So here's what we're going to do. Some ground rules. First, this microphone has touched Tom Payne, just so you know. Some ground rules real quick. I'm going to hand this off to you, right? You're going to... Okay. Tom's going to go freshen up. It's going to go to you. You're going to pass it to other folks. Be very mindful. There is H2Os all around you. And if you break it, you buy it, folks. As soon as Tom comes back, this young lady had a question. We're going to start.
Right behind you.
You are a ninja, Tom. I didn't even see that coming. All right, cool. So here we go. Young lady, what is your name? Where are you from?
Hey. What's your name again?
Kaylee.
Kaylee, lovely to meet you. What's your question?
How do you sweat a lot in your costume back in
Oh my god.
Georgia?
Yeah, a lot. I think one of the people that have one of the worst jobs on the show are the costume department, because every single person sweats a lot, and especially me, because I have that really long leather coat, and I have the body warmer, and I have my hat, and I have all this hair. And oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, we do sweat a lot, but there are little things like, we cut the arms off my shirt, so when I'm wearing my coat, then I'm not wearing my arms. And actually, in the first episode that I was in last season, there's a little bit of a mistake, because when I'm lying on my back on the floor, you can see that I'm not wearing arms on my shirt. But obviously, that was the best take, and they chose to use that one. But yeah, the answer is yes, you do sweat a hell of a lot, because it's so humid and hot, and you can imagine that the first thing when I'm running around the field. But I've gotten very good at finding shade. And actually, everyone is really good at finding shade. And I know to, it's between action and cut. You're like, okay, I'm doing the whole thing, and then it's cut. And then I'm like, action, and then cut, and then I'm like, walking really slowly and finding the shade and like being like this until I have to go back and do the whole thing again. Because otherwise, yeah, you get really tired and yeah, really uncomfortable. But then I think the weather is a part of the show as well. It's really a character. Like the whole of Georgia is a part of it, and if it wasn't like that, then it wouldn't feel the same. So, as a lot of actors say, you just have to use it. Go with it.
As a character, why do you think Jesus chooses to wear that?
So it's protection, because Jesus fights with his hands and feet. So it's protection and camouflage. Mostly, yeah. I mean, I don't understand why Daryl's got his arms out all the time. I mean, I do.